Operation Epic Fury. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, 2 American Arleigh Burke destroyers are patrolling the Strait of Hormuz with their beacons lit. A message to the entire world that America owns this waterway. In Iran? Well, they're panicking. A senior Trump administration official just confirmed to Fox News that the regime is, quote, really fearful. $400 million a day, that's what this blockade is costing the mullahs. Their economy is being strangled, their oil is stuck, and now we're getting reports that they're begging for more peace talks. This is what winning looks like, folks. President Trump just brought the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism to its knees. Now, why does this matter? What does this mean for you and your family? For years, Iran has funded terrorists who chant death to America. They've armed proxies who've killed American soldiers. They've been racing towards a nuclear weapon while the globalists look the other way. But now there's a real president in the White House who understands one thing. Strength is the only language these regimes understand. This blockade is not just about Iran. It's about your gas prices. It's about your national security, your children's future. Iran pumps millions of barrels through that strait every day. Without that revenue, they can't fund Hezbollah. They can't arm the Houthis. They can't finish their nuclear program. The Trump administration has them cornered. The entire world is watching. China is furious. They just condemned the blockade as dangerous and irresponsible. You know what that tells me? It tells me it's working. When Beijing is upset, America's winning. This is the art of the deal in action, and the stakes have never, ever been higher. And speaking of America securing its future, there's breaking news on another front that you need to hear about. The White House has just announced over $30 billion to secure America's critical mineral supply chains, and they named a specific Alaskan project as a key strategic asset for U.S. mineral independence. I've personally been to the Vizsla copper drilling site in Canada myself. Looking forward to the Alaska visit. I want to see it with my own eyes. And what's happening right now is bigger than most people realize. President Trump just unveiled Project Vault. It's a $12 billion strategic minerals reserve designed to stockpile essential resources and keep America from depending on hostile nations like China for the materials we need for defense, technology, and infrastructure. This is exactly the kind of forward-thinking move that puts America first. It's what I voted for. And Vizsla Copper is positioned right in the middle of this opportunity. You can find them trading in the United States, and I'll write this down, under VCUFF, and in Canada as VCU.V. You can check the exclusive briefing that's only for Next News viewers. It's linked below to see why this Alaskan copper project could be one of the most important strategic investments of the decade. Now let's get back to Iran, because what's happening next, it's going to blow your mind. See, here's what the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. Iran is not just scared, they are caving in real time. Bloomberg's now reporting that Tehran is actually considering pausing all shipping through the Strait of Hormuz just to avoid testing President Trump's blockade. Let that sink in for a moment. The world's biggest state sponsor of terror is so afraid of this administration, they won't even try to run the blockade. And remember when they tried to play tough guy with Vice President Vance in Pakistan? Well, they regret that now. Big time. A senior Trump administration official tells Bill Hemmer Iran is really fearful as the U.S. blockade squeezes its economy.
News? Some news?
A little bit. Just got off the phone with a senior official with the administration. What I can tell you is that, quote, a lot is happening today and tomorrow. We have all the ingredients for a deal, but it's not all there yet, which goes a little bit along the lines of what J.D. Vance was saying last night with Brett. The blockade with regard to Iran has Iran, quote, really fearful, which chokes off their economy. So watch that now with the U.S. Navy trying to interdict any ships passing in the Strait of Hormuz, Gulf of Oman, up into the Persian Gulf. So
all right.
It's a little bit of something.
A little bit more, okay.
And we are continuing to track this. Despite Iran's cautious optimism for a potential deal, China's latest condemnation of the U.S. blockade challenges the diplomatic waters. China's foreign ministry has officially condemned the U.S. naval blockade in the strait, labeling it as dangerous and irresponsible. Beijing warns the escalation threatens global energy security and maritime safety, calling for an immediate return to diplomatic talks. Yeah, that's what we need. How about no nukes? That's what President Trump is asking for. But they're refusing, so President Trump has to up the ante and block the strait. Now, China is getting very nervous because their energy supply is being cut off. As China's condemnation echoes globally, American military strategy intensifies amid aiming to throttle Iran's financial resources. China is feeling the squeeze. Captain James Fennell, the goal is to choke Iran from access to funds. Listen carefully.
The goal is to choke Iran off from access to funds. And when that money goes away, how are they going to survive? They need money to buy food.
It's to choke them off, and let's be blunt, this is a forcing function with the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, India's part of it. But today at 5:30, and folks, we'll be covering this live on the 5 to 7 hour here at the war room at 5:30. The Chinese ambassador of the United States is going to be in the Oval Office. I don't know why we give him that much, gets a meeting with the president instead of the Secretary of State or some other, some ambassadorial grundoon. But he's going to be in there whining. The Chinese already said this illegitimate, that the United States is not going to have anything, no say-so, nothing to do with blocking them, that they're China and we're not. He's going to make a plea today, particularly prior to this meeting, President Trump in mid-May, to relieve the pressure on this. Is he not, sir? He's not going over to have a cup of tea. He's going over to make a case that the Chinese Communist Party needs it to stop, and they need it to stop immediately.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to play up to the international press. They'll use this airtime, to portray themselves as the victim. Xi Jinping met with an Emirates or one of the Gulf state princes yesterday in Beijing and came out with a four-point plan. And one of the points was we have to respect international law, and we can't allow might makes right and the law of the jungle to creep into these kinds of issues. Funny, we didn't hear Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party say anything about that when Iran illegally started attacking vessels in the Gulf and in the Strait of Hormuz, or when they set up an illegal toll booth. Didn't hear peep out of the Chinese Communist Party when that happened. But now when the United States of America is putting into effect a very effective blockade, now they're going to come crying to the international community. And I look forward to seeing the president, foot stomp this guy. He'll be nice to him, but he's going to foot stomp him.
Looking forward to that moment indeed. With America asserting control over the strait, Iran scrambles to counter with bold rhetoric, highlighting the geopolitical chess match. April 11th, 2026, 2 Arleigh Burke destroyers transit the Strait of Hormuz. Beacons lit, no escort. The message: America owns the strait. Satellite imagery tells a different story, apparently.
Sees the coordinate. The market refuses to move. April 11th, 2026. 2 Arleigh Burke destroyers transit the Strait of Hormuz. They push straight into the Persian Gulf. No escort. AIS beacons deliberately lit. The message was clear. America has seized the strait. The generals called it victory. The media called it mission accomplished. But look past the victory statements. Look at the live satellite imagery right now. 150 supertankers are holding position outside the strait. Engines idling. Not one single barrel of commercial oil is moving. The military sees the coordinate. The market refuses to move. Why? Because the math is merciless. You can destroy every warship. You can erase every radar. But you still cannot force a $2 million insurance policy to underwrite a supertanker. When one $50,000 speedboat can change everything. You can control the water, you cannot control the risk. By the end of this briefing, you will understand the illusion of control and why a navy powerful enough to seize Hormuz is still powerless to open it. To understand why the civilian supertankers...
100%. 100% I disagree with it, because we have our forces there, and we're not going to let anything through. Here's some more visualization. You can see where the blockade is, where the demarcation lines are with the United States and Iran. Very clear. As the Iranian economy teeters on the brink, reports surface of staggering daily financial deficit due to Trump's blockade, pressing Tehran closer to economic collapse. Iran is considering pausing shipping out of the strait to avoid testing the U.S., which would be a massive cave to President Trump, according to Bloomberg. Iran reportedly looking for more peace talks to happen.
Morning reports indicate a second round of talks between the United States and Iran could happen as early as this week. The issue of enriched uranium remains a sticking point, and Vice President J.D. Vance last night explained to Fox's Brett Baer how Iran needs to get approval for any agreement.
The ball really is in their court. We've made clear where we're willing, again, to be accommodating, and we've made clear where we absolutely need to see the nuclear material come out of the country of Iran. I think the team that was there was unable to cut a deal, and they had to go back to Tehran, either from the supreme leader or somebody else, and actually get approval to the terms that we had set. Whether we ultimately get to a deal, I really think the ball is in the Iranian court because we put a lot on the table.
These remarks come as the region is looking at day 2 of the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports. So far, no major incidents have been reported, but a few vessels have turned back after the blockade went into effect. President Trump posted about the Iranian Navy on Truth Social yesterday, saying, quote, Iran's Navy is laying at the bottom of the sea, completely obliterated, 158 ships. What we have not hit are their small number of what they call fast attack ships because we did not consider them much of a threat. Warning, if any of these ships come anywhere close to our blockade, they will be immediately eliminated using the same system of kill that we use against the drug dealers on boats at sea. It is quick and brutal. The warning from President Trump comes as reports indicate at least 15 American vessels are assisting in the blockade. With a focus on Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, today Israel and Lebanon are holding direct talks in Washington, aimed at reaching a deal to disarm Hezbollah and develop peaceful relations between the two countries.
Now that Hezbollah has been so severely degraded, the government in Lebanon reached out for us for talks. This is mediated by the United States. This dialogue between Israel and Lebanon has started, which is aimed at disarming the Hezbollah terrorist organization, removing them from Lebanon, and establishing peaceful relations between our two countries.
Amid talk of diplomacy,
So I go back to this video that I interrupted that claims that our ships there are just window dressing. Those fast attack boats will be completely destroyed if they even come close to our cruisers. So, that's it. Game over. Now, Fox is reporting, as we did last night, $400 billion per day is what Iran is losing, $13 billion a month. And they've only got about 2 weeks before they got to start shutting off the oil wells.
An oil blockade is probably the knockout punch. The Iranians are trying to outlast us. The longer the war goes on, the longer their regime can hold off a revolution. But their economy is experiencing a crippling depression. This blockade's costing the regime almost $400 million a day. That's $13 billion a month. Plus, the Iranians can only store oil for about 2 weeks before they have to start shutting off wells. The Iranians can't outlast us. The world's turning to us for energy. Over 120 empty oil tankers are on their way to the Gulf of America.
Many ships are heading to our country right now as we speak to load up with the best. Really, I guess you could say, somebody said the best and sweetest. I don't know exactly what sweet is, but when it relates to oil, it's a good thing. But they're coming to our country right now. There are many boats coming to our country.
Iranian steel and petrochemical industries have been wiped out. Without oil revenue, all they can sell are pistachios to Pakistanis. It could get worse.
Oh, and it will get worse until they come back to the negotiating table. Now, here's the truth the establishment won't tell you. This is the most devastating economic pressure campaign ever launched against a terrorist regime, and it's working. In days, not months, not years. Iran can only store oil for about 2 weeks before they have to start shutting down their wells. Their steel industry wiped out, their petrochemical sector collapsing. Meanwhile, over 120 empty oil tankers are heading to the Gulf of America to load up with American energy. The world is turning to us. President Trump didn't just call Iran's bluff, he exposed their weakness to the entire planet. The mullahs thought they could wait out America. Well, they were wrong, dead wrong. See, this is what happens when you have a commander-in-chief who actually puts America first. So we're witnessing history in real time. President Trump has done what no other leader could or would dare. He has brought the Iranian regime to its knees without firing a single shot. And of course, we have dropped quite a few bombs, but of course, we're talking about the Strait of Hormuz here. No shots fired yet. $400 million a day bleeding out of their economy, China throwing a fit, Iran posting desperate threats on social media. See, this is American strength restored. This is promises kept. Now, I want you to do something. I want you to share this video with everybody you know. The mainstream media will not cover this victory, so it's really up to you and me to spread the truth. And drop a comment and tell me, do you think Iran will finally surrender to Trump's demands, yes or no? And since you watched this entire video, I set this up just for you. This is the new raw feed text message alert system. It's exclusively for viewers of the Next News Network who are tired of missing notifications, who are tired of trying to find us on YouTube. So just text raw feed 844-840-4963. You'll get the text message alert when we drop news and we have some breaking stuff and insider information. You don't want to miss it. And if you want to support our show and real American journalism, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. We've got some great gear. Find something you like. Lets you wear your values on your sleeve. Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And remember, stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.